Hello. Anybody out there? Looks like I'm all alone. All alone. Am I all alone? I feel lonely. Nobody wants to watch a Bitcoin breakdown with me? Nobody? Man. Tono C. Hello, Tono C. Daniel. I knew some of you guys were here. Oh, 6 of you? Well, I guess maybe my live stream's 10 seconds behind then. I'm just playing with you guys. I knew somebody would show up. Takes a little bit for these to get going sometimes. How you guys doing? William Eaton, how are you? How are you guys trading today? Anyone take any positions? Anybody sell any positions? Anyone make any money? Anyone liking this Bitcoin falling right now? I'm watching the minute chart. I was trying to see where volume is coming in. That's a good looking chart. Alright, I need to change this. That's just too much. There we go. Daniel, you're in the UK, Daniel. Nice, buddy. Nice for you. I like it over there. I'm from Arizona, Southwest United States. We have deserts. We don't have trees over here. Sean, sitting tight. Good for you, buddy. Waiting for breakout. I like waiting. IOTA looks interesting. Let's see if it looks interesting. So far, not much has looked interesting. IOTA was interesting around 50, but it's breaking down right here with everything else. We'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens here. Sydney. Paul from Sydney. How's Australia? Aren't you guys all powered by solar power now? Didn't Tesla take over the whole place? um, retest 38 then long. I'm not sure if, well, we'll have to see if this, so how much time is left on this bar? 2-hour bar, 36 minutes left. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how this bar ends up in the next bar. Oh, okay, Cash. Yeah, I jumped out on that. Opinion on Tether, is it a scam? I don't know if Tether's a scam. When I'm in Bittrex and I know all my money's in Tether right now because I didn't want it in Bitcoin. As Bitcoin started falling, I didn't want it in Bitcoin, so it's in Tether. Whether it's good or bad, I don't think it's a scam. It's been around for a while. Let's see how long this chart's been. Where is it? Where's Tether? Sorry guys, I'm looking for Tether. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, here we go. That started with a T. Yeah, I don't know exactly how long Tether's been around, um, but it looks okay. I mean, March of 2015 looks pretty legitimate. Looks like it's tightening up, meaning that it's doing its job. So I don't know if it's a scam. I mean, it's 2 years old. That's old in crypto world. 2 years old in cryptos. That's like mid 60s or something. Bought some EDG and LMC in their dips. Nice. Yeah, I did pretty good, and then I didn't take profits, and then all my profit got wiped away. So don't know why. Somewhere between the being at work and driving home, it just decided to take all my money. I guess I should have sold at work. But no, Tether looks good. Tether in theory, when you think about it, right? Tether shouldn't do anything. Tether should just be flat. So just the fact you have spikes, like if Tether was getting more, if Tether was getting, if it wasn't getting tighter, if it was getting wider and looser, I would be concerned about Tether. But it doesn't look like there's any need to be concerned per se. Yeah, so I just posted a video a little bit ago. Gonna get these out of here. Just unclog the charts a little bit. That's what I'm doing, Steve. Yeah, I just have the money in Tether, and then I'm just gonna jump back into Bitcoin. And um, if I don't see anything else to buy, then I'll just have it sit in Bitcoin, I guess. Yeah, so I already got into Tether not too long. Well, actually, I don't. None of my stuff's in Bitcoin. I really don't have anything in Bitcoin. But I did sell. I jumped into Monaco up here. I took a small loss in it. I don't even know why I got into it, but I got into Monaco, took a small loss, and then that sold to Bitcoin. Then my Bitcoin is now into Tether, so I sold that immediately. What's up, Avatar Vids? How you doing? What's SafeX? SafeX Exchange Coin. This nothing too promising here. I don't see anything really promising. And nothing really promising at all about SafeX. So pretty much everything is in the red at this point. Oh, Tether's in the green because everyone's buying it. So Verticoin is doing something, although nothing too crazy. Was it Spreadcoin? That's kind of, a lot of these coins are just kind of chopping around. So if you guys haven't been around the channel long enough, and to be honest with you, even you longer term guys, really, I don't think you quite understand how I trade and how I view the markets and how I go about trying to pick what to buy. In choppy markets like this, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to take trades and make money. A little easier in cryptos, though. Cryptos are pretty easy to kind of pick, but in a bull market, I'll probably be a long time buy and holder in a bull market. So, what I'm doing here, I'm really just sitting in, actually right now, I'm pretty much all cash except for a small, a small position in EOS that I'm somehow holding for the long term. And EOS is like the most clobbered stock in the market. And of course, it's the one that I happen to take a very small long-term position in for some forsaken reason. I have no idea. Yeah, Tether is a safe haven for volatility. You mentioned Core had a jump of 120%. I'll pop that in there for you. Yeah, Core had a Core, that was a few days ago though. That's ancient history in cryptos. You're talking last week, buddy. That's crazy. For me, all cash means US dollar Tether or cash, because when I'm in Bitfinex, I cannot get Tether. I think I'm actually in US dollar. I think I'm in fiat. But so yeah, let me get back to what I was talking about like how I like to trade. So this choppy action here really drives me nuts. Like this would drive me bonkers. This drives me more bonkers because I think it's pointed much lower than this. If you notice, the angle of this trend line is pretty benign. I mean, it's pretty benign, and then it pops up and forms a handle. I like to buy right here. I'd like to buy right off this breakout point. I don't want to chop this for moves. I don't want to take 2%, 3%. I want to buy right here and just hold. And just hold. If you go all cash, like US fiat, you do have to report that on your taxes. That is a transaction. If you have it in Tether, I do not believe you have to report it. But the second you do go cash, you will have to report. So I will have some tax reporting for this calendar year for sure. And unfortunately, it's spread across like 3 different exchanges. So I'm going to have a lot of fun this year with my taxes. My PKG option strategy. I'm glad you asked. It's kind of pissing me off. Let me bring it up here for you. So PKG, for those of you that don't know anything about stocks, prepare to be maybe confused or maybe intrigued. I don't know. So here's PKG on the daily. This is the weekly. Here's the daily. Here's PKG on the daily. I bought PKG right about here somewhere. I don't know exactly. Um, but it's doing some really weird stuff. So it has this really nice volume pop. Look at this crazy volume. Closed. It opened here, came all the way down, came all the way back up, closed up here, and then today I was expecting it. I wanted it to close up here, but it closed way down here. So, man, I'm just a little bit confused as far as this PKG trade. I have a lot of money in this, so I don't quite know what I'm going to do. I want to show you something else too. It's really intriguing that I don't see that often, but for some reason in PKG, it's really, really screwing me. Can I not see after hours here? Tax implications only when you sell. Only when you sell. Sorry guys, I don't see my after hours time here. Anyway, I'm not going to do this too long. I don't want to hold you guys too long with stocks. I know that's not what you're here for, but so check this out. Look at this. This is PKG. This dark section is market hours. This light section is after hours. This is after hours. Look at these volume pops. There's like no volume in PKG comparatively except for after hours. Look at that. Big volume pop. Big volume pop. Huge volume pop after hours. I have no idea that this crap is happening until like a minute after the close. So like I'm seeing this action and I don't know where this got filled. Like I have no information about this after hours trade. Now, from my understanding, this is a dark pool. This is a dark pool purchase, which you don't get in cryptos, luckily. But this is a dark pool purchase that they traded I mean, 1.4 million shares, and throughout the entire day, the average is like 3 million. I mean, so I don't know. It's been really difficult trying to infer the price action here because I don't know how these dark pools are affecting the price. I have no way of knowing that. Anyway, so it came up here and then it crept higher, then came lower into the close. So I'm a little confused how this is going to trade tomorrow. Um, I don't know. I think I'm up like 20% in it, but it's just I don't know. It's really pissing me off. So hopefully, if it holds this line, I'm just going to hold it. Hopefully we can edge higher, but anyway, that's my trade. It's not really trade manipulation. It's dark pools, basically where two institutions get together and make a private sale. The price and volume needs to be recorded and it's done after hours. It's not really market manipulation. And what is after hours? So, and I don't trade currencies. Um, the markets are open from in Arizona from 6:30 to 1 p.m. in current time, and so you can actually trade before the market opens and after the market closes. The only difference is it's much less liquid, and you have to use limit orders. You cannot place a market order, so it's a bit more risky because it's just things get really crazy. Like you look at around earnings time, and there's price swings of 5-10% in moments. It can get pretty crazy, and if you have some limit orders and not placed very well, you can really get shaken around. So Bitcoin on the daily, looks like we're sitting at the low of the day, down 5%, 5%, or 6%, 6%, 5.5%. Pretty much everything else is in the red too. Like I said, I did step aside completely. I don't want to try to play like I'm a smart guy and get caught up in all this and try to find the one that's going to outperform. I'm just gonna, you know, if I'm driving down the road in my car with my family in the back, and I see a drunk driver, I do one of two things. I get ahead of that drunk driver so I don't have to deal with him, or I pull over to the side of the road and just let him pass me, because I just don't want to deal with him. All right, this is drunk driving right now. This is drunk driving. You don't want to be involved in this. You want to step aside and just not be involved. You want to let them fight it out. Yeah, so we had this big volume bar right here, and this was comprised of 2 minutes. The second minute looked like a support bar, so I'm not sure if it looks like it's going to fail. I mean, it looks like it's going to fail further, but it's really kind of have to wait and see what happens. Unfortunately, I may have to sleep at some point tonight. Oh, I hate these freaking overnight markets. So difficult. What do you guys think? You guys are in different time zones. Australia's represented, UK's represented. How do you guys deal with your overnight sessions? Are they as volatile as they are for us here in the United States? Do you ever wake up to a surprise? You're like, oh, didn't expect that to happen. How do you guys deal with that? Yeah, we know China likes to dump. We can draw a measured move here, see where we can maybe get to. Any idea why every altcoin price going down right now? So I don't have that exact answer. All I can say is that I can all but guarantee that there's a lot of computers driving pretty much all markets here. Um, Paul, you lucky guy. China dumps each night and then US starts buying the Bitcoin. I guess I never thought of it in terms of that. So why all the prices are going down? Um, so pretty much all markets kind of move together. It's quite interesting. I don't know if it's a and someone just noticed here in the chat is that US likes to buy the Bitcoin that China is selling. Um, which is really interesting because they don't really trade together. So I don't understand why China would sell and then the US would buy. But anyway, that's the pattern. That's the pattern. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue too much with it. But um, the hell was I going to say? Oh, why every altcoin price is going down right now? That's what I was going to talk about. So markets move together. Okay, it's kind of a mass psychology thing. If you find two or three people running to the hills, um, oh, the miners dumping, is that what it is? That could be. They do a lot of Bitcoin mining. That's very interesting. I'll have to wrap my head around that. Could be a trading theory happening there. Um, yeah, that means the U.S. is left holding the bag, huh? Pretty interesting. Anyway, so it's kind of a herd mentality is the reason why everything dumps. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are the the two big players in the marketplace. So when they're neutral, when they're neutral, kind of everything kind of plays around. Like we saw that today, right? Bitcoin was pretty neutral, Ethereum was pretty neutral, and so you had all these altcoins running, doing all this crazy kind of stuff, right? Now they're starting to sell off, and in a bit of increasing volume. It starts right here, and we have a bunch of these pops on this 15-minute chart, a bunch of these volume pops to the downside, and now everything's selling in mass with it because it's it's like gaining weight with your wife while she's pregnant. It's just psychology. It's just human nature. We kind of go with the herd. We go with the flow. So when Bitcoin and Ethereum sell, everything else sells. Until those two actually break apart, we're going to see this type of action. Now there's a potential that they do break apart because in theory, well, not even in theory, in practice, they are two completely different networks. Bitcoin is a currency, and Ethereum is uh, like a developer's blockchain, right? You can build applications on it. So they have two completely different use cases, and I find it fairly interesting that they do trade together. The only thing they do have in common is their massive size. They all have their multi-billion, multi-dozen billion market cap. So you're going to have the same players probably in both markets. The institutions are going to be heavily involved in Bitcoin and Ethereum versus the lighter coins. They can't put as much money to work in those. so they're really not paying as close of attention. That's where a lot of the retail traders are. That's where even the rich retail traders, they're going to play there a lot more. But when Bitcoin and Ethereum sell off, um, everything just kind of sells off with it. Oh, getting slammed right there. They're fighting it out. It's kind of interesting to watch them fight it out. Let's see if we can check it out on the GDAX. GDAX has a pretty cool way to only sleep on the weekends. That's tough, man. That's really tough. Here's the GDAX. If you guys haven't seen the GDAX before, they have this I really like this over here. This left section, this order book. I really like how they do this. They give you, the market size up here. It's kind of, for some reason, the vertical orientation for me works really well. You get the spread in the middle, and they actually point it out for you. You don't even have to do the math, and it's really cool. So this is, at times like this, I like to come in here to see if there's a large selling block somewhere, if there's a large buying block somewhere. And I even made some trades yesterday that kind of got me out of some trouble because I saw a large trading block coming, and I sold it, and then that thing just tanked because that trading block was taken out. So me too, Joel. I mean, I think when they actually have something that's really useful, I think it's going to be pretty spectacular to see what they do, its use case, because pretty much this is all hypothetical, right? This is all hypothetical stuff. This is Ethereum. You mentioned Bitcoin. Let's check out Bitcoin. You know what I don't like about the GDAX? You mentioned there's no black lines in the back. I don't like the fact that I can't scroll in any way, shape, or form. I'm like moving my mouse scroll bar right now. It doesn't do anything. It just sits here. I really hate that because I like to get different perspectives, and I don't want to sit here, clicking menus to get different time frames. So about that, Joel, I've had this thought for quite a while, and I don't think I've ever said it on the live chat or anywhere else. Think of Ripple, right? Ripple's trying to be the international finance market, exactly like what you're referring to. But at the same time, you have the Federal Reserve and other governments, testing out blockchain technology. Yeah, the FedCoin is a good example. That doesn't necessarily have to be publicly traded. They don't have to put that on. They don't have to ICO the FedCoin. They're going to build their blockchain to whatever specification and however they feel it needs to be built, and it may never see market, right? You may never get to trade that. That's just going to be something that they use between themselves, because why would you try to have money in transfer that is extraordinarily volatile? It doesn't make a lot of sense. When you do these currency transactions, you really want as stable of a price as you can get. You don't want to trade. You don't want to like be a cattle broker where the price of cattle is rising just exponentially and dropping exponentially. And I could be wrong about that. Maybe the blockchain thing is something where they have to put it, or they have to ICO it, and they have to do this or that for whatever reason. And then yeah, maybe you can get involved, but I just find it very strange. Yeah, that could be a thing too. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're just going to use cryptocurrencies for transactions. Think about it from the Fed's perspective. How much infrastructure and money do you have invested and built into crypto, or to fiat currencies, to printing of fiat currencies, the transfer, the actual currency itself? I mean, there's like multi-billion dollars. Like if you were to go all crypto, man, that would just cause such havoc. We can't even change tax code. We can't even change the tax code. I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, but we can't do anything, let alone try to change our currency. That would just cause such chaos. If they actually seriously talked about that, the currency markets would go into free fall. The commodity markets would go haywire. I mean, our society would just collapse in a matter of hours, probably. I mean, it would really have to be like a 100-year plan, and we can't even plan 3 months out, so that's not going to happen. Yeah, so not much happening here in the Bitcoin either direction. Only 10:45 Arizona time, so I haven't gone to bed yet. That's why they haven't decided to really do anything. I have not read The Creature from Jekyll Island, no. All those pretty red bars. Yeah, Joel, I mean, not even necessarily coordination from other countries, but think of our bond market. Like, we have the largest bond market, I mean, pretty much anywhere. And there's every country in the world buys US bonds, and it would just be, I don't know, it would be just such a crazy undertaking. It's going to have to be a plan that's going to be very gradually laid out if they go crypto in any way, shape, or form. And like I said, they don't have to ICO, they don't have to do anything. They can, if you think about it, if all the institutional banks and all the central banks around the globe ran their servers with those blockchains on them, I mean, I think that would be enough consensus for them. They don't need to have a billion consensus computers. They only need to have, because think about it, how many countries? 200, 300 countries. So 300 countries, there's 300 nodes right there. And then you add all the banks, all the like major international banks. There's another 200. So there's like 500 to 1,000 different companies that could distribute a ledger between them and just completely cut out this trading market. I mean, in 5 to 10 years, you could really be stuck with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a bunch of there's 388 coins they say right now on CoinMarketCap. Um, you could really be stuck with maybe 10 tangible tradable coins of any real size. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I think we're going to have several dozen, maybe a couple hundred. It's going to become its own stock market. It's really just going to become its own. It is. It is. It's already its own stock market. Yeah, 37 people watching. Be sure to hit the like button. Please do hit that like button. Pump the channel up a little bit. I don't like to. I'm not a hype guy, man. I'm just not a hype guy. I'm gonna try to start getting in a little more hypey. I need to build the channel a little faster. There's guys out there that just talk news and bullshit all day long, and I just watched him. I'm like, how does this guy have 47,000 subscribers and I have two? He's not putting out there anything of any value. Um, I see that all the time. Researching a lot of people think that rally might be a bear trap, and look at it as this goes down to 2,600 thoughts. So that is a concern. That's my concern. 2,600. I actually have a video about Bitcoin 1,200. I'm not saying it's going to get to 1,200, but there is a case for it, and I lay it out in a video. So go check that out. I really kind of walk you through it. It's pretty interesting if you're kind of new to technical analysis. But let's go look at 2,600. Let's go to the daily chart. Let's have some fun with this. Let's see where we could go. Okay, so 2,600 would take us back to this level. Is that a Fibonacci level? Why 26? Best coins for short-term gains this week. No clue for you, buddy. Whichever one acts best. These things change by the hour. I mean, if you've been in cryptos any particular time, um, I don't follow the Twitterverse. There's a lot of guys on Twitter that all they do is pump these small coins. And if you want those types of moves, um, I don't have the bandwidth to do that yet. I've got a buddy that does that pretty well, and I don't think he's really interested in kind of pumping that out there in the world. So as the channel gets bigger, maybe I can bring him on as a resource to everyone, so we can maybe pump some of those smaller coins, because there's some good gains to be made. There's some really good gains to be made. Yeah, Joel, cutting out the public with the large players. I mean, think about it. Some dude wrote, Satoshi Nakamoto, if I'm saying that correctly. He wrote this paper, and a bunch of programmers put it together and made Bitcoin happen. So anyone can do this, especially people with billions of dollars. Jay Money, what coins do I hold? I hold nothing right now. I don't hold anything right now. Yeah, if you really kind of understand technical analysis right now, um, then a lot of people are going to be on the sidelines. So you saying, Jay Money, you saying that I'm lying that I don't hold any coins? Issues getting fiat back out of Coinbase. I've only done it once, in 2013 when I traded Bitcoin. I didn't have any problems at all then. Now I don't think I'll have any problems. The only problem that I'm going to have is the freaking fee that they're going to want to charge me, and it's going to piss me off. So I may find alternative ways to do that. Oh, that was a fib. It was the 2800 level. Yeah, people like to use fibs a lot. My video is based on fibs, don't get me wrong. I needed something to base the price action off of, because when you're talking moves of that scale, I think Fibonacci's are the only thing that can give you that kind of um, insight, I guess is what I'm looking for. Oh, you're kidding, Jay Money? So, yeah, I appreciate that. I have no reason to lie to you guys. No reason to lie to you at all. So actually, I can show you here in my Bitfinex wallet. I'll refresh it here for you. All Tether in Bitfinex. All Tether. All $1,172 of it. So, yep, that's my Tether balance. My core position, I won't show you that one, but that one is also all cash. And no, it's right here in the GDAX actually. So I guess I will show that to you. 98.54 in the US dollars. No Bitcoin, no nothing. I don't have Litecoin, but I have my core position here in GDAX because I was in Coinbase and I really didn't want to spend the money to get it out. So I may move it over here to Bittrex eventually. We'll just kind of have to wait and see on that. But yeah, there you go. You saw my cash position. Not to my knowledge. I sure as hell hope not. I don't want to hold any. I don't want to pay any fees just to hold this in. Maybe they have a they have a fees section here, but it doesn't really say much. It just says all trades have a 0.25% commission. It's not a very big page. This is the entire page. So yeah, not quite sure. Not quite sure about that. Yeah, hope there's no fees. Yeah, Sean, I'm kind of an open book. I really don't care if people know how much money I have, to be honest with you. Um, I know a lot of people are just really sticklers about that, but this is really like all of the money that I've got. At least cash available. Like I do have a Roth IRA and things of that nature, but in terms of available to trade, actually that's most of my emergency fund in that GDAX account. Um, so what I'm doing is I'm going to be using Ethereum and or Bitcoin kind of as my emergency fund, and I'm going to get one of those, either the Monaco card, one of those cards that I can actually spend it with, and then so that way it's still a legitimate emergency fund, but I can still get the price appreciation of being in something like Ethereum or Bitcoin, and I'm pretty much going to stick to either Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. Those are probably going to be the three that I'm going to stick to, and not just because they're in the GDAX, but I think they're really some of the more stable coins. I think Litecoin though has kind of lost that status. Um, I watched another video by Node Investor, and he mentioned in his live stream that Litecoin has 30% of their volume in China. So that's quite a significant amount of volume in China. So if that goes under, then it could take Litecoin down with it, and it won't get quite the price appreciation. But I think Ethereum and Bitcoin are solid. They're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Those are the 800-pound gorillas. If you have large amounts of capital to deploy, you put them there. I really wouldn't. Maybe Ripple, if you're really keeping on top of it. And there's Amisego may be a good one, but it's just really choppy around here. But I really wouldn't put too much money to work if you really value that money. And that's what my trading account's for. My trading account is for, just playing around with, looking for trades, kind of having fun, but I'm still risk averse. Trading view under Bitcoin US dollar. I'll check it out. I don't really look at their social stuff that much. How do I get back here? Let me click on this, don't I? Yeah, so the fact that everyone's calling for a bull trap kind of scares me. Kind of means it's not going to happen. Pretty much whatever everybody else does, I try to do the opposite. So if everyone's kind of calling for a bull trap there, yes, he's calling for a wave move like that. A, B, C, D. Bearish continuation scenario. Yeah, so I can't be the only one that sees what I see in the chart. I mean, yeah, see, look at this guy. What's he calling for? This guy's calling, is he a 2600er? Is he calling about 2600? What's this guy saying? 1-to-1 measured move. That's the bat wing pattern. I've seen that around here. I don't know what the hell that's about. That's crazy right there. I don't even know how you make decisions based off of that. Ah, that hurt my ears. That was a Stratus alert. Let's see what's going on with Strat. What's going on with Stratus? What the hell, man? If that's how TradingView's alerts are, I'm not buying TradingView. 21 hours ago, 2 hours ago. Ooh, this guy expects it to wedge higher. Look at that. Fancy, fancy. So, alright, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. Looks like market's bouncing back up a little bit, only down 6% now. Is that you guys taking positions, making me look the other way? Looks like you're getting a little bit of buying here. Let's go to the 15-minute. Oh, there's a little bit of buying right there. And 1 minute, see if it's pretty extended or if it's... Oh, looks like most of that is a downward bar. So this is kind of a weak sell up in here. William Eaton, price predictions on Omisego. You know, I don't know at this point. Omisego is going to go where the market goes, up or down. Actually, that looks fairly healthy in Omisego right there. That looks fairly healthy in Omisego, but it's all over the place, man. I'll be honest with you. It's just choppy. It's everywhere. So it's had a pretty big run up. I mean, since its ICO, it's gone from 50 cents to $13. I mean, come on. It really hasn't even had a big pullback. This is the first big pullback it's had, so it's due a rest. It's due a rest. I just wish I was trading it down here, man. Crying out loud. There's no reason to sell any of this. No reason at all. I mean, you probably sell this one just due to the fact that it was such a large pop. You probably would have sold here if you bought down here, but maybe you would have bought back. Anyway, it's had such a big uptrend. I mean, come on, 2,600%, 2,600%. It's going to be chopping around. It's going to chop around for a while before it gives you something constructive, I think. Take it around 8. Hey, I say hold it then. I say if you've got it around 8. Oh, okay, let it go around 11 or 12. Good. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I traded off this. I traded off here, and then I forget where I let it go. I think somewhere up here. Yeah, I probably did the same trade that you did, it looks like. Looks like we did similar trades on that. Very nice. If you got it over here, that's just ballsy. That's just ballsy getting it over here. I was pretty much all cash this whole time, but yeah, pretty good. Thank you, watercluster.com. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? Neo just likes to get murdered. um, I will say this though, Neo had an exemplary run, huge percentage. So if it gets going out of here, you can take positions. Back to Ethereum. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a little biased in this market. I want this thing to frickin' tank. I want this thing to tank. All these guys that are saying, we're stupid for being bearish. I really just want this. Oh, Pay getting slaughtered? Yeah, it was getting slaughtered earlier. Actually, I recorded like 5 iterations of my daily video from earlier, and one of them was just Pay getting murdered. And I'm like, Pay's just not looking healthy. So, but yeah, I mean, like all this price action here, and it's not that I want that. I want this pattern to work out. Like, I'm fairly new to the cryptocurrency market, and I really just want this. This is an overall bearish pattern. This is a huge bounce, man. Don't get me wrong. This is a huge bounce, but this uptrend here has kind of been a little weak. Like look at all this green over here. This is the bottom of the recent consolidation prior to the 3,000 breakout in Bitcoin, and now this is the 3,000 breakout. But look at all this green at the bottom. Look at this green. Do you see any of this green over here? I don't see it yet. I don't see the green yet. I thought it started coming up here. I was getting a little nervous. I was missing out on the action. I knew we'd get some sell-off towards these trend lines, and we are. But, man, I don't see the sea of green coming in just supporting this. Yeah, me too, Joel. Exactly. Me too. Me too. Trig, any thoughts? Not really. Trig had its run. It's done. Trig's done. These coins do these huge runs, and then you expect them to do it again. You expect them to do it again. That's a tough game to play. That's a very tough game to play opportunity. That's a horribly hard game to play because all these coins do this, and all these smaller coins, I think OK. Well, OK actually had a really good chart pattern. That's not a good example. Yeah, so here Verticoin had this huge run, and everyone remembers this run from only a couple of weeks ago, and they expect it to do it, but they just get shaken out. Every time you get a bullish move, they shake you out. Bullish move, they shake you out. So, you don't want to be in the coin that's already had the big run, like this Internet of People that had this crazy big run. This was in my video from not today, but yesterday. Look at this crazy ass run. I mean, this is a beautiful run, but it's going to shake a bunch of people out along the way until eventually everyone's going to be tired of getting shaken out. It's going to go flat, and then when everyone forgets about it, that's when it's going to run again. These things go in cycles. Here's Cloakcoin, right? Huge run up, tank. You're going to see it time and time again. Here's another one, big run up, and then it came back, tank, came up, tank, came up, tank, came up, tank, 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 tank. It just gets tiring. It's really tiring. Yeah, if you got an intraday strategy, so I'm not trying to trade intraday generally. I like to trade for I like to trade for longer swings. But if you got an intraday strategy that you like say you're trading on the 15-minute chart, I mean, you can trade pretty good off a 15-minute chart. Like you could trade this. You could trade this consolidation right here and take 10-15% out of these coins. So these coins are good for that as well. You can do that. Like if you have an intraday strategy, like on the daily, it's a different ball game, right? I was looking at the daily, but here intraday, you've got a bottom put in right here. This didn't work out to the upside, but you have a kind of a cup and a handle here. Nice volume coming into here. Nice volume coming out of there. So you could take a position here, take profits anywhere, and probably still have a pretty decent trade. So, like if you see, but again, it's been faded into now. So maybe this, so maybe this move is over. Um, but yeah, you can maybe look at some other coins. I've been looking around a little bit. I haven't seen too much on the 15-minute chart that's been super bullish. Hey, that's not bad in spread coin. That was up 6% earlier. There's Cloak coin that had a run recently that's been rolling over. Civic, Nav coin. Yeah, that's not doing good. BAT was running yesterday. We posted about that on Twitter. LUN going up. I don't know about that one. Never heard of that one. What's this thing? So this is an interesting chart. Okay, recent ICO. Already had its huge run. You already had this run. This is your buy point right here. If somehow you got wind of this right here at 527, boom, 500%. Here you go. Have a nice day. And then you go next. It's pretty much what happens there. But yeah, so it's just really choppy around here. This is a big movement. It's going to take a long time to consolidate this movement. All these ones with big movements are going to take time to consolidate. So these are so choppy. You get moved up and down. By the time you see this move, it's up here, and then by the time you get your order placed, it's ready to be placed. It's up here. By the time you buy, it's up here. Then they shake you out, coming back down. I mean, it's so hard to do this, and you see it time and time again. Maybe if you get in right here, here's some nice quiet volume area, and then but you can't watch all of these coins all the time. And that's the hard part. That's really the hard part. So what I like to do is I like to focus on really nice setups. And now here we're running because I said I wanted it to go down. I like to focus on really nice setups, and I would rather sit there all day long watching one coin in a really nice setup and then jump on it. Like I wasn't really harping on Dash today, but it's been on my watch list because this is a very long-term trend line for Dash. And if this thing it tested it here 3 times, 4 times. If this thing crossed up in good volume and ran, there's a good opportunity for some good profit in Dash. There's a really good opportunity for some good profit. But these are the kind of trades I like to watch. I like to look for, there's money here, there's money here, there's money here, there's money here. But the money from here is going to get stopped up here. You have an arbitrary ceiling on your potential gains. I don't like to put those ceilings on my gains if I can avoid it. What I really like, is like this Bitcoin chart that we were looking at earlier. Let's go back out to the daily. This is what I like. I don't mind this trend line, and I really like this trend line. This is my favorite trend line of all. Right there. And I could tell you that even before this thing broke out. This is my favorite trend line. Why? Because you have levels that have been tested, that have been supported. You have an area of consolidation beneath the prior high, and then when it starts to curl up and break out, boom, that is exemplary. You can go, I would go full in on this position, 100% in on Bitcoin right here. This could be the same for almost any coin. With this setup, I would take that trade any day of the week. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Have a good night. I'm gonna do my live stream tomorrow again at midday Arizona time. I'll schedule and put it out there. Follow me on Twitter at RealCryptoTrade. Go ahead and follow me there. I'm trying to get more active. If you guys want to tweet at me about some possible trade ideas, or if you have any questions, feel free to do so. I'm not super active, but I'm getting better. So yeah, that's about it. Please spread the word of the channel, like everything, subscribe to everything. I don't know, whatever. Build it up. Alright guys, I will see you later and talk to you soon.